Continuing from the previous episode 2765. Find the latest chapter in Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor novel. In a while, we will be responsible for stopping him, and the safety of Xiao Yan and others will be handed over to you. At this moment, a burst of helplessness suddenly appeared in the eyes of the Dragon King Btth2. No one knew the power of the keel better than the two Dragon Kings. The appearance of the keel, but it requires the dragon powerhouse to gather the essence of his life after the fall of the quasi-9th reincarnation rank, and its value is even far beyond the blood essence. Now the half-step 9 reincarnation rank Long Feng controls this keel, and its combat effectiveness has long been enough. An unusual quasi-9 reincarnation level. Such an enemy can only be shaken by the 8th transformation of the Dragon God, or even the fusion of more than 10 holy flames. Unfortunately, Xiao Yan did not control the 8th transformation, and it took a long time to fuse the holy flames. I'll send you in with the two of me. The halo of destruction above the sky became more and more intense, and a terrifying halo that was so powerful that it was depressing surrounded the sky, making everyone's breathing slow down. Quote. Xiao Yan shook his head, and there was a fierce beating in his eyes. The original plan was for everyone to cover themselves and step into the Dragon Tomb. They desperately resisted the Silver Dragon King's coalition and waited for them to successfully rescue the Golden Dragon King. But now it seems that Long Feng is a formidable enemy. If he leaves alone like this, the two ladies and the allied army of the Dragon Tribe will be slaughtered by him. After all, with their strength, they cannot resist Long Feng. Xiao Yan could not bear the price. Outside the Dragon Tomb, there are the allied army of the Dragon Clan and the two ladies. In the Dragon Tomb is the Golden Dragon King who has the grace of knowing and enlightening himself. The palms of the hands and the backs of the hands are full of flesh. There is no time, there must be a choice or we will all die here. We promise you that we won't die here. Looking at Xiao Yan's hesitant eyes, the two women looked at each other and said decisively. At this point, there must be a trade-off. They naturally knew that Xiao Yan still had a lot of trump cards that he had not used, but if he used it here, how would he deal with the Silver Dragon King after stepping into the Dragon Tomb? The power of the Silver Dragon King is much stronger than that of Long Feng. If he were to reveal all his cards here, stepping into the Dragon Tomb would be nothing more than a death sentence. Listening to the decisive voices of the two women, the Tyrant Dragon King and the Fire Dragon King bowed their heads in shame. The reason why the 9 Dragon Kings of the Dragon Clan are superior to the ordinary Dragon Clan is that they all have the potential to cultivate to the peak, but this kind of potential takes time. It takes a lot of time. There is one more plan. I hope the two seniors can help me. In an instant, Xiao Yan's expression became serious, and he shook his head gently. No matter when, he would never let his woman take risks, even if he died in battle. Xiao Yan watched this scene, but his heart was beating slowly. His fists were slightly pinched, and there was even a heart-pounding smile on the corner of his mouth. Long Feng's combat power is beyond everyone's expectations, but in such a dangerous situation, for Xiao Yan, it is an abyss that cannot be crossed. It is also a great opportunity that will never come again. The threshold of the 9 reincarnation rank is mysterious and mysterious. If there are not enough opportunities, I am afraid that I will not be able to touch it in my entire life. You're thinking? Xiao Yan just opened his mouth, but everyone was full of doubts. Only the *** demon dragon who had been quiet behind him suddenly gasped, his eyelids twitched violently, and he lost his voice. Uncle Shi once gave me a blood essence of life, and now it is quietly flowing in my body. I can clearly feel the violent force full of it, which is enough to destroy a world. For it, the absorption in the past is probably only a drop in the bucket. If the two Dragon King seniors can help me fully absorb, the mere Long Feng is not worth mentioning. In Xiao Yan's eyes, a little bit of madness began to emerge, and just after it emerged, it was as uncontrollable as a volcanic eruption. It may be the best way to completely absorb the power of the awakened Golden Dragon King's blood essence. Are you crazy? You are the disciple of the eldest brother. If something happens to you, let me tell him what to do. I would never agree. Xiao Yan's frantic voice echoed in the mind of Btth2 Dragon King like thunder. The latter roared without any hesitation. Thoroughly absorb the blood of the Golden Dragon King's life? That is the blood essence of the peak of the 9 reincarnation rank. A drop of blood can destroy the ocean. Even though Xiao Yan was talented, if he wanted to forcibly absorb him with his strength at the peak of the 8th level reincarnation, he would probably only end up in one end. The body and spirit would be destroyed, ashes and ashes. The power of the Golden Dragon King has long reached a level that cannot be guessed by human beings. Isn't his blood essence so easily absorbed? I have made up my mind. Allied forces obey orders, cover, and evacuate. In an instant, the Dragon King Btth2 ordered again, obviously wanting to break through here and evacuate. Let's start. I'll leave it to the two of you for the next thing. Xiao Yan seemed to have known the decision of the two Dragon Kings for a long time, and the moment he spoke, his whole body was suddenly enveloped by a golden blood energy. A touch of faint golden blood essence suddenly swept out from his body, and the majestic power coercion, just in the blink of an eye, made the surrounding Dragon Tribe coalition forces completely crawl to the ground. Xiao Yan's slender hair was instantly rendered golden. The skin and pores were constantly sprayed with pale golden liquid. The pale golden liquid dripped into the void. The earth, wherever it passed, was instantly evaporated into void. The ancient aura erupted like a volcanic eruption, completely filling Xiao Yan's body. At the moment when Xiao Yan completely released this power, Xiao Yan only felt that his heart suddenly stopped beating, as if he was under a fatal threat, and shook violently. "You stop me. You will die like this." Seeing such a stubborn obsession, the Dragon King Btth2 almost roared like crazy. "You lunatic. Complete lunatic." At this moment, there was also a huge shock lingering in the heart of the Fire Dragon King. Even if it is the threat of annihilation of body and spirit, do you not hesitate to completely mobilize the blood of the Golden Dragon King and absorb it completely? His purpose is not to covet the supreme rights of the Dragon Clan, Keel and other things. He is just to rescue his uncle, the Golden Dragon King. This kindness cannot be surpassed. Seeing Xiao Yan's painful screams in front of him being tortured by this golden halo, as if he would be completely pierced by the golden liquid at any time, something in Yun Yun's heart seemed to be viciously touched. Her eyes turned slightly red, and a feeling of grief could not stop. Live in it. He cultivated himself so much that he wanted to help the latter when he needed help, but why did he need to endure this pain alone in the end? Thinking in his heart, the flower *** pattern, the holy flame in the body, the divine weapon and other forces surged together, trying to get close to Xiao Yan, dissolving a little pressure for the latter. Don't go over, that kind of power is not something we can bear. But, if it goes on like this, he will die. This is his choice, and our choice. When Yunyun was just about to make a move, Kaylin stretched out her slender fingers and supported Yunyun's trembling body. There was an unmistakable majesty in his tone. Btth2. Let's do it. Btth2 Dragon King blood. The blood of the Fire Dragon King. Together. Until this moment, the corners of the eyes of the two powerhouses, the Btth2 Dragon King and the Fire Dragon King, were also dripping with countless crystals. My big brother is still so accurate when looking at people. If the Golden Dragon King can get this son, why should the dragon family not be prosperous? For the convenience of reading next time, you can click on the favorite below to record this time. Chapter 2781 Crazy, Bloodline Awakening. The reading record, you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2766. Find the latest chapter in Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor novel. Boom! Immediately, with the power of chi and blood pouring into both the Btth2 Dragon King and the Fire Dragon King, everyone could only vaguely see that the whole world of the Dragon Tomb was suddenly shrouded in a golden light curtain, and there seemed to be a certain figure in it. Struggling. The golden light was extremely powerful, and even if the two Dragon Kings tried to neutralize them with the power of chi and blood, the effect was minimal. Along with this irresistible golden light and Shadow Dragon King, there was even a hoarse, heart-piercing scream that filled the air. The kind of blood of the Golden Dragon King, which is enough to crush any human being, is so troublesome to absorb. For a time, the expressions of the Dragon King and the others suddenly froze. Even if everything they did was trivial, they were still sending Xiao Yan the power of chi and blood. With such a cowardly body to forcibly absorb the power of the Golden Dragon King's blood essence, the torment and pain that he needs to endure far exceeds that of the devil's body. Quote. Until Xiao Yan took the initiative to release the blood essence power of the Golden Dragon King, the whole world was violent, and countless old dragon roars were transmitted from his body, echoing in this void. That kind of terrifying fluctuations that make people feel dizzy, so that no one in the dragon family can resist. Fight! Xiao Yan felt the extremely vast power contained in this golden blood, and immediately gritted his teeth. Countless power surged together in his body, and directly resisted it. If he can't resist the erosion of the golden power, the end will be nothing more than annihilation of body and spirit. But if he survives it, I am afraid that the reward will make Xiao Yan truly touch the peak of this great world. In the deep eyes, the colors of madness and perseverance are constantly alternating. The pain of the bone peeling and skinning makes the demon power and the power of the Xiao clan in the body tremble slightly, but Xiao Yan does not show any signs of slackening. The golden liquid found any flaws, and all that was waiting for Xiao Yan was the end of ashes. Time flies little by little. No one knows what kind of horrific torture Xiao Yan has experienced. Only countless heart-piercing screams swept out from the sky and the earth. However, as the screams became smaller and smaller, the golden liquid that was enough to destroy Xiao Yan was like a wild horse being tamed. The special pattern, the surging power of the golden pattern, seems to have an ancient wave that surpasses the heavens and the earth, constantly nourishing, repairing the latter's dying body. Impossible. At the moment when Xiao Yan's whole body was shaking like this, Long Feng was not idle either. Countless powers were exerted. The keel and legs surged together and shot directly at Xiao Yan. Such terrifying power, the latter possessed enough self-confidence to completely obliterate Xiao Yan, but his incomparably confident attack was like a grain of sand, unable to disturb Xiao Yan's figure, and was engulfed by the golden halo. Especially Xiao Yan's aura of the overlord of the dragon clan made Long Feng's complexion so moved that there were many traces of looseness in his body's strength. That is the power of the Golden Dragon King. A class of human beings actually possessed the blood of the Golden Dragon King, and desperately devoured them in front of everyone's eyes. Guru, all the attacks were annihilated like moths to the fire. Even the keel on the legs trembled slightly, fearing the golden figure above the sky. Long Feng's eyes flickered slightly, and when he saw Xiao Yan with pale golden light shining all over his body, the power of reincarnation in his body, even the keel, produced a very humble emotion. How can you possibly have the power of the Golden Dragon King? And with the mere 8-fold reincarnation rank peak strength, it has completely absorbed it. Impossible. This is definitely a fantasy. Looking at the golden figure moving slightly like a asterisk of death, overlapping time and space, Long Feng's body trembled and he spoke nonsense. Countless powerhouses saw a golden light and shadow slide across the sky, and then the rapidly expanding legs of Long Feng and the Tianyu keel in the midair seemed to be wrapped by some kind of golden halo power that no one could understand. During any hesitation, the crisp sound of broken bones resounded. At that moment, it seemed like something was broken. Crack! The swollen legs exploded instantly, blood overflowing, and even the keel, which was regarded as the supreme sacred object by the dragon race, first had a crisp sound of shattering, and then it turned into powder in the sky under the gaze of everyone. Such a move shocked all the powerhouses present. Broken. Broken? The keel is broken? Crush the dragon bone with your bare hands? Among the dragon powerhouses in the battle between the two sides, I don't know who said it, and immediately looked at the yellow powder entrenched in the sky in a stunned manner, and the shock in their hearts could not calm down for a long time. It seems that this time, they have provoked some people who can't be provoked. Who? It wasn't until this moment that Yun Yun and Kai Lin patted their chests and let out a heavy breath. Fortunately, there was no danger. And at the moment when Long Feng was defeated, a terrifying energy ripple surged above the magnificent gate at the entrance of the Dragon Tomb, slowly opening. The entrance to the Dragon Tomb is broken. Go! Enter the Dragon Tomb. As soon as the words fell, the Baxia Dragon King and the Fire Dragon King stood up first, and took the vast army behind them and swept away together. Xiao Yan and Long Feng's breath disappeared at the same time. Where did they go? Seeing that the allied army of Baxia Longwang and others took the lead in taking action, the 4 Dragon Kings with dull eyes looked at each other, and the shock in their hearts could not be calmed down for a long time. The dignified Dragon Clan's supreme elder, Long Feng, with half-step 9-fold reincarnation level strength, plus the power of Tianyu Keel, was so defeated. After swallowing the blood of the Golden Dragon King, Xiao Yan's combat power has really reached such an appalling level? What should we do now? Watching the Btth Dragon King's coalition forces quickly swept towards the entrance of the Dragon Tomb, the Tulong King said with a sullen face, and there was also a burst of grains in his heart. The elder Taishan was defeated, and they could no longer stop the other party from entering the Dragon Tomb. Could it be that they could only sit still and wait for the trial of the Golden Dragon King? The Earth Dragon King relying on you alone, intercepting the allied forces of Btth and others with Earth-based demigods, they must not be allowed to step into the Dragon Tomb. I'll wait for 3 people, enter the Dragon Tomb, and stop them. If we don't fight back at this time, once the matter of the Silver Dragon King is revealed, our fate will be irreversible. The Dark Dragon King's eyes flashed with unprecedented solemnity. Before, they had the support of the elders, and they could fish in troubled waters. Now they are the only ones left. As soon as the voice fell, everyone also acted separately. So far, the powerhouses who have entered the Dragon Tomb are the Yin Dragon King faction, Storm Dragon King, Dark Dragon King, Star Dragon King, Kalen, Yunyan, Btth Dragon King, Fire Dragon King and others, and the rest, all of whom are covered by the Earth Dragon King. One person intercepted him in the Dragon Tomb with a huge fighting skill of the Earth attribute. As for the Wooden Dragon King, he was still unable to break free from Xiao Yan's shackles, and he was also unable to intervene in this civil strife. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click on the favorites below to record the reading record of this time, the beginning of the Great Melee Chapter 2782, and you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2767. Find the latest chapter in Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor novel. As the battle outside the Dragon Tomb came to an end, some unknown things were also happening inside the Dragon Tomb. In the silent and ancient Dragon Tomb, the smell of time permeates everywhere, and there are many colorful keel corpses hanging in the void of the Dragon Tomb out of thin air. Obviously, these are the strong dragons who were buried in the Dragon Tomb after their fall. Among them, the weakest one had reached the reincarnation in strength before his death. Such a huge number is also in line with the Dragon Clan's detached position as the overlord of heaven and earth in the Great Thousand World. Countless keels were placed in the Dragon Tomb in a disorderly manner, but their heads and bodies were uniformly facing a hazy area in the Dragon Tomb, which was extremely respected. It was an open area suspended in the sky of the Dragon Tomb, at the core of the Dragon Tomb, the Dragon God Square. The Longshan Square is very large, about 1 kilometer in size. However, there are not many decorations on the square. There is only a very simple lotus stone platform. On the stone platform sits an ancient stone statue that has been buried for a long time. The body of the stone statue is the same as that of an ordinary human being, and it is even much thinner than a normal human being. The whole body is not too brilliant. Only the whole body of the stone statue has an inexplicable and powerful golden pattern flowing. There seems to be some transcendent power in the golden lines, and even through the lines, you can vaguely see some objects like perfect jade inside the stone statue surging slightly, but those seem to be illusory, like illusory shadows. In front of the stone statue, there is an inconspicuous golden stone tablet. The golden stone tablet is like an ancient object standing in front of the stone statue. Standing here, there seems to be an illusion. The picture inside the stone statue seems to be caused by the projection of the stone tablet. At this time, there were several figures around the square, and everyone looked at the stone monument and stone statue with serious eyes. There was a dignified look in his eyes, and he was obviously worried about something. Among them, the leader has bright eyes, and his blonde hair adds endless majesty to him. At a glance, he has the demeanor of a king of the overlord of heaven and earth. What's even more peculiar is that there are thick golden scales on his body, and the scales are flashing with magnificent colors. Even if the real powerhouse of the 9 reincarnation rank sees it, I am afraid they will not be able to start. There was an unquestionable majesty in the latter's old eyes, and the eyes were full of ferocity and rage. Beside him, there was an old man in white robe with a kind face, and a man who looked very young walking back and forth, stagnant. The strength of the two was strong and weak. Although the Dragon Clan's civil strife has been going on for a long time, the Silver Dragon King is also a bit wise, and he did not disturb too much of the power of the Dragon Clan. The battle only covered the 9 Dragon Kings. Now we secretly step into the Dragon Tomb, and the Dragon King and the Fire Dragon King are under the control of the outside world. I am afraid it will not be the opponent of the Silver Dragon King and others. The dead silence didn't last long, and the voice of the young Shadow was the first to break the silence. Quote. The voice of the young Shadow fell, and there was no response from the two of them. They naturally knew the importance of this trip. Now, I can only give it a go. I hope that the Silver Dragon King will not commit the sin of killing his fellow clan. But, Dragon Lord, are you really going to do this? Although this approach is feasible, the risk is too great. After a moment of hesitation, the hoarse voice of the white-robed old man echoed out, and the worry contained in it could not be added. My origin dragon body was severely damaged in the First World War, and then when it was hidden in the final passage of Do Di continent and Do Chi world, it was completely destroyed by the powerhouses of the evil race from outside the territory, which caused my current strength to suffer too much damage. Too serious. If we don't take this step, I'm afraid that with my power, it will be difficult to completely quell the civil strife in the dragon race. The leader is arrogant, and his conversation is extremely extraordinary. Combined with such great courage, who else is there in the entire dragon family except the legendary Golden Dragon King? However, the Golden Dragon King at this time, both in terms of strength and mentality, was strikingly different from the Golden Dragon King who was living in seclusion in Xiao Yan's body. Even so, as the latter stared at the ancient stone monument on the square in front of him, a wave of powerless fluctuations spread from the depths of his soul. There is a legacy of the power of the Dragon God. Looking at the huge Dragon Clan, there are very few people who are qualified to step into it, but in countless reincarnations, no one who steps into it survives. No one knows what the mystery is in this steel, and whether there really is the power of the Dragon God, but this does not affect its lofty status in the slightest. Dragon Lord, your body is damaged, and now your strength is only 9-fold reincarnation. On the other hand, the Silver Dragon King's servant, in the days when you left, secretly enjoyed many rare resources of the Dragon Clan alone, but his power has vaguely touched the peak state. If this stalemate continues, I am afraid that the situation on our side will be extremely unfavorable. Your decision is correct. After the white-robed old man beside him hesitated for a while, he could only sigh, and then agreed with the Golden Dragon King's approach. Up to now, I am afraid that this is the only way, but the Golden Dragon King is the supreme leader of the entire Dragon Clan. If the latter has any accident, I am afraid it will make the already civil strife of the Dragon Clan even worse. I entered the stone tablet and realized the power of the Dragon God. I will try my best to compress the time to the shortest possible time. If the external situation cannot be reversed, you can temporarily surrender. During this period, remember not to act recklessly, otherwise everything we do will be a waste of time. There was something in the words of the Golden Dragon King, and he seemed to be looking at the two of them worriedly. Yes, Dragon Lord. Following the Golden Dragon King's request, the two looked at each other and clasped their fists respectfully. The worry of the Golden Dragon King is nothing more than the fact that the Baxia Dragon King and others tried to break the net with the Silver Dragon King, so they left their entrustment. If something happens to me, I will take my Golden Dragon King's holy decree and go to the Endless Flame Alliance to invite Xiao Yan, and the Dragon Clan will be handed over to him, I can rest assured. After a while, the Golden Dragon King looked at the end of the endless void of the Dragon Tomb, and suddenly there was a trace of golden light flickering, and there was even a faint aura of Xiao Yan, which was also moving. How could Xiao Yan's breath appear here? The Dragon Master has obtained the true inheritance of the Dragon God, and such a situation will definitely not occur. The old man in white robe shuddered when he heard the words, and then said with difficulty, "These words are more a persuasion to himself than a praise for the Golden Dragon King. Follow your orders, Dragon Lord." The young man on the side nodded solemnly, and naturally knew the importance of this trip. Now, only the Golden Dragon King is the only way to break the boat. Otherwise, once the Dragon Clan's civil strife is prolonged, it will be extremely unfavorable to the Golden Dragon King's lineage. Long Yi, your talent and understanding are extraordinary. After this time, I will make you the 10th king of the Dragon Clan. The Golden Dragon King turned his head, his pupils were full of relief. Who would have thought that Xiao Yan's titular eldest brother, although his strength was not strong, his mind and head were above ordinary people. By the way, still haven't found the traces of Long Qing, Long Hao, and the 3 leaders of the sacred armored dragon army? After explaining it, the Golden Dragon King also asked the old man in white robe, that these important things naturally need the old man in white robe to know. In order to facilitate the next reading, you can click the favorites below to record the reading record of this time, in the Dragon Tomb of chapter 2783, and you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2768. Find the latest chapter in Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor novel. Not yet, but I have secretly entered the retreat of the 2 Supreme Elders many times, but I have not found any breath. As for the commander of the Sacred Armored Dragon Army and the Sacred Armored Dragon Army with only a few dozen people, they disappeared as if they had evaporated from the world. The white-robed old man was powerless to shake his head. These 2 Supreme Elders were the true confidants who followed the Golden Dragon King from birth to death. Their strength had already reached the level of the 9 reincarnations. If they had the prestige of the 2, their Golden Dragon King faction would be like fearing the Silver Dragon King. There is also the extremely commander of the Sacred Armor Dragon Army, which is the most elite troop in the Dragon Clan. Its combat effectiveness is comparable to that of the Knight Commander of the Kingdom of Angels, and now they are also missing together. Since the return of the Golden Dragon King, not only the 2 strategic-level Supreme Elders have disappeared, but even some of the heroes of the Golden Dragon King's command have been missing. Any clues are extremely strange. It seems that this matter is not as simple as I imagined. When I leave the customs, the Dragon Clan really needs to be cleaned up. The inquiry was fruitless. The Golden Dragon King shook his head suddenly, and then his disdainful voice fell, and his heavy body instantly sank into the golden stone tablet. When the elders still did not have any news, there was a faint sadness in the eyes of the Golden Dragon King. I'm afraid he had a premonition. For the Golden Dragon King, the strength has already reached the peak of the world, and the strength in the body has been cultivated to the point of perfection. The combat power is naturally unimaginable by ordinary people, but even such a strong person has the legacy of the dragon *** in the face of legends. When the Dragon God stone monument appeared, he was also moved. That is the mansion of the gods, the highest level of heaven and earth, and it cannot be desecrated. Even the peak strength of the 9-fold reincarnation is as small as an ant in front of it. For a time, the aura of the Golden Dragon King was completely submerged in the golden stone tablet. No one knew what kind of danger he needed to face, and the Dragon God Square fell into a dead silence. Your Majesty Long Tien, please help me to form a formation to protect this square again. I always feel that the civil strife in the Dragon Clan is not quite right. It seems that the purpose of the Silver Dragon King is not just the position of the Dragon Lord. It was not until the Golden Dragon King completely submerged into the Dragon God Stone Steel that Long Yi, who was beside the Supreme Elder Long Tien, clasped his fists and said, "His strength is only at the 4th level of reincarnation, but he is in the Dragon Clan. Because of his status, he can secretly carry out many inconveniences for the Golden Dragon King's lineage. Therefore, he has greatly helped the Golden Dragon King and others, and was promoted by him as an exception. As a confidant, now that the catastrophe is approaching, the Golden Dragon King secretly brings the meticulous Long Yi and the Supreme Elder Long Tien, who has reached the quasi-9 reincarnation level, to this place to protect himself. As long as he successfully exits the customs, no matter how arrogant the Silver Dragon King is, all conspiracies and tricks will collapse in front of the absolute power of the Golden Dragon King. Of course, if even the Golden Dragon King cannot come out from the Golden Stone Tablet, I am afraid that the position of the Lord of the Dragon Clan will be, there is no need for the Silver Dragon King to take action at all, and he will be rewarded for nothing. If you form an array, you don't have to. Just when the 2 of them were just walking around, preparing to use their power to set up a defensive formation on the Dragon God Square, the power of heaven and earth in the Dragon Tomb suddenly became quiet, and the skeletons of countless dragon corpses trembled strangely. A peaceful voice quietly spread out from the endless void. At the moment when this voice spread, the hearts of Long Tian and Long Yi were beating violently, as if they were under great threat. The strength of this kind of power has already surpassed this sky, and it is definitely not that they can resist with the strength of joint efforts. Gollum. At this moment, the body of the Supreme Elder Long Tien trembled instantly, and the blue dragon scales exploded like an upside-down hedgehog. At the command, he slammed down on the ground of the square. Just ask the entire Dragon Clan, except for the Golden Dragon King. I am afraid that only one person can possess such a powerful power. Silver Dragon King. The two Gold and Silver Dragon Kings have great differences of opinion on the Dragon Clan and the Great World. They have fought for countless reincarnations in the long years. Now that the Golden Dragon King's original dragon body has been damaged, how could the Silver Dragon King let go of this golden opportunity? This master has waited for several lifetimes of reincarnation, and finally let me wait until this day. Big brother, you are really confused. Since you have disappeared for so long, it would be great to help the descendant of the Shao clan, but you actually tried to return to the Dragon Clan again and rule the Dragon Clan. If you don't come back, the Lord will naturally not count on you. Unfortunately, your return has given me a slim chance for that supreme realm. My strategy is flawless. After this battle, not only will the Dragon Clan become something in my pocket, but even the power of the Dragon God will completely crawl under my feet. No, even the countless creatures in the entire Great Thousand World will humbly tremble under my feet. Ha ha ha. Crazy laughing sounds swept out from the void of the dragon tomb, and the body of the Silver Dragon King emerged little by little, and the silver vortex around him was filled with awe-inspiring elemental fluctuations. Today's Silver Dragon King is different from the one who appeared in the eyes of the dragon powerhouses in the past. His long silver hair fell like a waterfall, adding endless charm to him. His face was cold and beautiful, and there was a touch of silver in his eyes, which seemed mysterious and enchanting. They will all be seduced by the latter, and even the whole body seems to be reborn, just like a young girl. Where is the appearance of a middle-aged woman like the Silver Dragon King? Silver Dragon King, you eat what's inside and out. Long Tien and Long Yi looked at each other and said viciously. But I still hate the Silver Dragon King. The Golden Dragon King controls the most powerful physical power and the power of destruction in the world. Everything he does is for the sake of the dragon family and all the creatures in the world. The power of the elements, the practice of one, is not an ordinary path. It has clearly survived countless reincarnations. The body is as young as a girl. I am afraid that the latter's cultivation techniques and fighting skills are not lacking in some crooked ways. Moreover, the Silver Dragon King is quite unpopular among the entire Dragon Clan, but it is unbelievable why the latter controls such an elite fighting force as the Dragon Clan now. How can the ants know what the Emperor thinks? Long Yuan, stop him for me. Facing the abuse and resentment of the Supreme Elder Long Tien, the Silver Dragon King did not take it seriously. He was very graceful and made a soft voice, and then the energy surged in the silver vortex, and suddenly an old man filled with dim light walked out of the void. On the old face, there is a dangerous arc, and even the strength and identity of the latter is the same as Long Tien. Long Yuan is also the Supreme Elder of the Dragon Clan, with the same quasi-9 reincarnation level strength. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click the favorite below to record this time. Chapter 2784 Silver Dragon King appears. The reading record, you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2769. Find the latest chapter in Fighting the Sky God, Yan Emperor novel. It's troublesome now. Looking at Long Yuan's appearance, Long Yi's face was extremely cold. Among the three Supreme Elders who can still find traces of the Dragon Clan, this one is the least likely to help the Silver Dragon King. The two Supreme Elders are both quasi-9 reincarnation level strengths, and they check and balance each other, but what worries Long Yi the most? It is the Silver Dragon King, and behind the Silver Dragon King, there is a large purple halo flickering, in that purple halo, as if other forces exist. Long Yuan, you actually betrayed the Golden Dragon King and joined the Silver Dragon King's subordinates. You really don't have faith. You wasted the kindness that the Golden Dragon King gave you at the beginning. Looking at the figure in front of him, Long Tien actually cursed with blue veins all over his body. These powerhouses are almost the same survivors of the First World War. Long Yuan was only a nobody in the Dragon Clan a long time ago. If the Golden Dragon King hadn't discovered and promoted the on-demand broadcast, how could he have won the title of Dragon Clan? Countless resources. How about cultivation to the status it is today? The Golden Dragon King has made great achievements. Of course, he is the most outstanding person after the Dragon God, but in the years when the latter disappeared, if it wasn't for the Silver Dragon King, the Dragon Clan would have been reduced to an ordinary force, so why should Btth2 join the Silver Dragon King's command? What's more, do you really think it's all a coincidence? Long Yuan disapproved and sneered, but behind the latter's neck, there was already a mysterious silver dragon pattern entrenched in it. The fluctuation and pattern were deeply recessed, embedded in the flesh and blood, as if it was innate. So, you turned out to be a traitor. At this moment, Long Tien glared at the latter. His hideous eyes seemed to be able to devour the latter's soul completely. The pattern of the Silver Dragon King must be planted from the time of the young dragon, and the latter has long since become a humanoid puppet driven by the Silver Dragon King. Girl, let's go. I will take you to collect the real will of the Dragon God. Seeing the people in front of them facing each other like this, the Silver Dragon King chuckled softly. The laughter was as pleasing as a young girl's. The jade hand raised and pulled the purple-haired girl behind her. The two walked towards the golden stone monument like sisters. Behind the two, there was a burly man standing, following the two women like a guard. HMPH. Silver Dragon King, my Dragon Clan's digital Xeon 9th reincarnation rank powerhouse has disappeared strangely. I'm afraid it has nothing to do with you. Want to enter the Dragon God steel? Then step over my corpse. Even with such a huge lineup beside the ladder, Long Tien didn't have any fear in his eyes. Instead, he took a step forward and questioned angrily. You are not allowed to call your mother by her first name. Feeling the substantive murderous aura on Long Tien's body, the purple-haired girl beside the Silver Dragon King was furious, and a substantive purple energy rose up, which seemed to have a hazy dragon shadow entrenched on her purple hair. The appearance and aura of that hazy dragon shadow. It turned out to be similar to the dragon *** in the Legend of the Dragon Race. After this icy voice appeared, the eyes of Long Tien and Long Yu were attracted by it. The appearance of this woman is somewhat similar to that of the Silver Dragon King. A long purple gold dress perfectly sets off her bumpy body. There is even a vaguely clear dragon roar on top of the long skirt. Has a beautiful dragon tail swing. That kind of fluctuation probably also contains the power of the keel. It's just what this girl said just now. Is she the daughter of the Silver Dragon King? However, according to the records of the Dragon Clan, the Silver Dragon King was extremely arrogant and never had a spouse. How could he give birth to an offspring? Combined with the girly appearance of the Silver Dragon King, some speculations could not help pouring into my mind. Dragon God? At this moment, even Long Yi, who was beside him, was suddenly suppressed by the terrifying dragon might on the woman in the purple skirt. His eyes were full of surprise, and he lost his voice. How holy is this girl, and why does she possess the breath of the Dragon God? The breath of the Dragon God. Even the entire Dragon Clan, I am afraid that only the Gold and Silver Dragon King has a trace. This girl is only a mere 9th level reincarnation rank, so why does she possess such power beyond everything? What an annoying bunch of guys. Long Yuan, Jukin, I'll leave this to you. The Silver Dragon King's eyes stayed on the purple skirt girl behind him and the golden stone tablet in front of him from beginning to end. For her, these two are enough to help her break through the shackles of the key. I have prepared countless plans for myself, and finally came in handy on this day. The pinnacle of the 9-fold reincarnation? The location of the Dragon Lord? Simply ridiculous. Compared with the Dragon God, these things are just as insignificant as dust. How can anyone know of their own ambitions? Yes, my lord. As soon as the voice of the Silver Dragon King fell, Long Yuan and Zhu Kun jumped up and surrounded Long Tien one after the other. Long Tien and Long Yuan are both on the Quasi-9 reincarnation level. And Zhu Kun, whose whereabouts have been unknown since the 5 emperors broke the sky, is now as strong as Long Yi. Such an evenly matched lineup has long been unable to stop the two daughters of the Silver Dragon King. But once they are allowed to step into the Dragon God stone monument to interfere with the Golden Dragon King, I am afraid that the Golden Dragon King will be in real danger to his life. The Gold and Silver Dragon King is in civil strife. No matter who completely falls down, it will be a situation of great damage to the Dragon Clan. Do it, you must stop them. At this moment, the murderous intent in Long Tien's eyes was fully revealed. This is a tough battle and a catastrophe. If the Silver Dragon King's plan succeeds, not only will they die, but even the Golden Dragon King will be doomed. At that time, the Dragon Clan's supremacy in the Great Thousand Worlds will probably be completely destroyed by the Silver Dragon King. What's more, now that the great catastrophe is imminent, and there are many crises everywhere, if the Dragon Clan suffers heavy losses in the internal battle, I am afraid that sooner or later, they will be destroyed by the hands of the foreign evil clan. Crash! Long Tien's face sank, the vast power of reincarnation spread out like a tide, and he was always vigilant about Long Yuan's every move. I don't know how far your fighting power has reached after countless years. Pick me up. Under such a tit-for-tat situation, Long Yuan's loud shout resounded like thunder, and he waved his giant fist with a ghastly expression and blasted away at Long Tien. The terrifying power fluctuations actually drained all the power around the Dragon God Square and concentrated on its scarlet fists and burst out. Even above that fist, there is still a strange light. That kind of power does not seem to be possessed by the quasi-ninth layer. Be careful. This attack is not quite right. Long Yi, who was in a stalemate with Zhu Kun in the distance, changed his face, and seemed to have noticed some other fluctuations from his giant fist, and hurriedly shouted. I am afraid that these guys will get a lot of benefits by joining the Silver Dragon King. In the face of such a terrifying attack, a layer of gray gradually appeared in Long Tien's eyes. Immediately, his legs stomped heavily on the ground, and gray halos filled the air. Under his gaze, they instantly formed a gray giant, entrenched and sheltered on its body. The two attacks intensified, and without any hesitation, the energy body of the gray giant suddenly touched the destruction punch of Long Yuan. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click the favorite below to record the reading record of this time, Chapter 2785, The Mysterious Purple-Haired Girl, and you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis.